You're listening to the Moose and the Loose, your 10 minutes action-packed financial podcast with your host, Mikey Hu. Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike from the Moose on the Loose. I hope you are doing well. Retirement Friday already, man. The week is going by so fast. Anyways, love it. There is a little bit more sun these days. The runs are better. So yeah, just feeling good. And the dogs, I'm running with like literally Moose, like that is really on the loose, and my other dogs, Loki. And Loki and Moose, they just love running. Like they're sprinters. They're just like, they're destroying my knees. But anyways, that was just a lot of fun. So now today we're gonna talk about big question, riff or no riff, in a sense where a lot of young retirees, in their 60, beginning of the 60s, they're thinking, well, maybe I should start withdrawing from my RRSP before it turns into a RIF at the age of 71. So at the age of 71, no matter what you do, if you have RRSPs, you're forced to transfer them into a RIF. So the RIF is exactly the same thing as the RRSP in a sense where the structure of how you invest your money, what can be included there, the amount that could be in that account, it's all the same. The only difference is every single year going afterwards, so the age of 72, the government is forcing you to withdraw a portion of it. So even if you don't need that money, you are forced to withdraw a percentage of your RIF account every single year. That percentage starts around 4 point something percent, and then it goes up like 5, 6, 7, eventually 20% when you're like 90 years old or something like that. So the whole goal here, I guess, I don't know, like the government just wants you to pay tax on something, right? Because that money has been growing tax-free its entire life. And then boom, they're just like, yeah, man, it's time to pay back some dues. So to avoid paying a large amount of taxes, some investors decide to say, you know what, we're going to deplete the RRSP faster. And so then at the age of 71, I have not much or I have nothing to convert into a RIF, so I can save on taxes going down the road. So you have that aspect. You have also the aspect of estate planning, of course, because if you pass away at the age of 75 with $2 million in your RIF, and you have no spouse to transfer the money to, well, that money is being fully taxed to your estate. So your estate will have to declare that it sold and withdrew $2 million from the RIF on a single year. So you can imagine that the tax bill is going to be high. So of course, the $2 million will quickly become about $1 million, as you will pay almost 50% taxes on that. I mean, not really your estate, but still not super great. So some people are thinking, well, I'm gonna like avoid that. The other benefit is, of course, not suffering from OAS clawback. So as you know, if you're making too much money at one point, you are not going to be entitled to receive old age security, OAS, so also known as OAS clawback. So just to make sure though, the OAS clawback starts with, in 2025, with a revenue of $93,000. I mean, $93,000, and then you're starting to lose OAS pension. So it's not like in one shot. You're going for every dollar above $93,454. Every dollar made above that in net income will reduce your OAS by 15 cents. So by 15%. On every dollar. So it's kind of like another way to be taxed. Not cool at all. But let's be honest, if you're making $100,000 at retirement per year, yes, you can do a tax optimization. That's great, but I think there are like bigger problems to that in life, right? It's a good problem to have. Let's put it that way. So, I mean, I don't necessarily see this as like a material point of discussion, but again, some people, they want to get maximum of everything, and that's fine too. It's in your right, and that's great. And if you can just play around with some numbers and then start withdrawing money from your RSPs before and then save OAS clawback, well, then good for you. It's just more money in your pocket, more money for your children, grandchildren, and so on. So you can enjoy retirement even more. So totally fair. Another interesting move to use RSPs before you turn them into a RIF at the age of 71 is to bridge the gap between while waiting to get CPP and OAS. Because as you know, one great way to maximize your returns and your retirement income is actually to delay CPP and OAS as long as you could. Because every year that you wait more past the age of 65, you're getting a bonus for it. So, which is great. But the thing is, if you wait until the age of 70 to get your CPP and OAS, well, of course, and you retire, let's say at 62, well, between 62 and 70, you won't have those pensions income. So you need to replace them. And a good way to replace them is, of course, taking a little bit more money from your RSPs so you can get the money right now that is, I would say, uncertain, because it's invested in the stock market, so you don't know what's going to happen. And then you transfer the rest of the risk into the hands of the government to receive your CPP and OAS. So that's kind of like a good way to do it by withdrawing money from the RSPs first. It's also an advantage on that side. On the other side, though, because there's always like two sides of a financial decision, right? So if you do not withdraw money right away from your RSPs, that also means that you do not trigger taxes right away. Because yes, you'd be thinking, when I'm 75 or 80, I'm going to withdraw money from the RIF, or if I pass away, they're going to be like a big tax bill. But on the other side, if you aggressively withdraw money from your RSP today, you're also going to pay taxes right away. You're going to voluntarily trigger the taxes that you're going to pay now, instead of having that money growing tax-free for maybe another 5, 10, 20 years. So you have to consider this on both sides. So how can you make the right decision? So I want you to offer you a framework here to make sure that you have the right decision. So the first thing is, if you are able to keep your marginal tax rate at the same level throughout your entire retirement, or as low as possible, of course, that's the best way to approach that decision. So then you can forecast your source of income at retirement, like how much you're going to receive at 60, at 65, at 70, at 75, depending if you're delaying CPP and OAS, depending on your pension plan, depending on how much you withdraw from your RSP versus non-registered, and so on. So you look at your taxable income, and if you're able to maintain about the same marginal tax rate, it's usually the best decision, because you do not want to pay a lot of taxes at one point. You don't want to create spikes, because those spikes means that the more income you make, the more taxes you pay. So you can keep it at the same level. That's great. The second thing is to maintain an agile budget. So sometimes you're going to withdraw a little bit more money from one account to another to, yes, do tax optimization, but also to benefit from what the market is giving you. So on a good year, maybe it's time to trigger some capital gains to cash in those returns. And on a bad year, you don't do anything, or maybe you're going to sell a few stocks just to get that loss and recover from previous capital gain as well. That could be another strategy. Having a clear plan on the source of income you're going to receive year by year is super important. If you know exactly how you're going to build your income every year of your retirement, then you'll know how much you're going to pay in taxes. Then you'll know what is the best way to grow your portfolio in the future. Sometimes it's to let your RSP be for another 15 years and go for your non-registered. Sometimes it's the opposite. And the real way to actually know which one is the best is to run financial scenarios, like financial projections with, okay, I'm going to take CPP and OAS at 60 or at 65 or at 67 and then 70. And then I'm doing the same thing with the RSP. I'm going to start withdrawing money first, or I'm going to wait. And to do those projections, it's not that easy, but that's what we do actually at Retirement Loop. We do have a financial projection tool that actually has a built-in optimizer to tell you exactly which is the best calculation. So the optimizer is running like hundreds of financial scenarios for you, so you don't have to do anything, which is great. And then we'll offer you like the best scenarios depending if you want to maximize your budget, if you want to maximize your estate, so pay less taxes, or if you want to retire earlier and then maximize the number of years at retirement. So depending on your goals, you can do it. But having those financial projection on one way or another, it's super important. It is crucial. This is the only way you're going to make the right decision, is by looking at the numbers, not listening to whatever people have to tell you, because they don't know your situation. They don't know the specifics. They have not run the math for your situation. The only way you can do that is by running the math. Actually, as you probably know, we do have the doors reopening at Retirement Loop shortly. Actually, in about a little bit more than a month. At the end of May, we're gonna reopen the doors. But in the meantime, you can download our income-focused product guide. So we reviewed 20 different income-focused investment products in this guide. It's for free. You can download it at moosemarkets.com/retirement. So moosemarkets.com/retirement. You put in your email and automatically you're going to receive the download. And it's great because it is super clear, one pager for everyone, for all products, giving you the ratings, giving you the pros, the cons, the common mistakes as well, just to show you that there is no free lunch in finance. There's always like goods and also some bad with any kind of products, so you can make the best decision for you. So again, you can download it at moosemarkets.com/retirement. And for us, my dear Moose, we're going to talk again on Monday. Until then, don't forget to stay invested.
Hey, welcome to the disclaimer. If you're listening to the Moose and the Loose, you cannot really expect me to give you buy or sell recommendation or financial advice, right? You're here for fun, you're here for information and some entertainment. But I am not your financial advisor, I am not your broker, so therefore I'm not liable if you're losing money after listening to the podcast. If you're looking for some advice, go see a professional. If not, you can enjoy this show and do your due diligence after it.